Dragon Traveler is coming in less than 10 hours whenever this video goes up. 10 hours, 30 minutes at the moment, I believe. And I want to make a small video going over what you can expect from this game. Not only that, but also talk obviously about the reroll, day one tier list, and a bunch of other important things I believe that are great to mention before the game goes live to temper people's expectations and also to see if the game is actually for you or not. So as usual, before we start, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and today's topic, Dragon Traveler. Before you play, I don't know what I will call this video, to be honest, but whatever I end up calling this video, I also want to be 100% open and honest, right? This is I believe a day one account, if I remember correctly, and as you can see, it's not invested. Like, I only log in to see what characters are released and to see what new waifus and new skins are available, right? I don't consistently play the Chinese server, the Taiwanese server. Sorry, I can't say that word. I don't play consistently on the Taiwanese server to actually be here pretending I'm a pro at this game. I'm not. Most likely on the first 2 days this game is out, my global account will be stronger than this account within the first 2-3 days, right? That said, I do want to be talking about a bunch of different things that I can't talk about that I believe it's important for most people. And that it's going to include the reroll, the gacha system, the dupes, the shop basics, the team building, tier list, and then following the red dots. So let's actually start with the most important one, and that's going to be the reroll. So, reroll. It's useless, it's worthless. You should not be rerolling in this game. There are multiple reasons, and all of them are in the website already, okay? Like, if you go into the reroll guide, and we actually zoom in, nice skin, this one by the way, there are a few reasons as to why you should not be rerolling, but let's talk about it, right? First one, you need 18 copies of a character to max them out. So, like any gacha game, or like most auto battlers, you start with normal yellow stars, then you go into purple stars, then you will go into red stars, and then after the red stars, you will go into the LGBTQ stars, like this one right here that the whales all have. And that is 18 dupes plus 40 characters at 6 stars used as fodder. That is a lot of dupes, right? So re-rolling kind of like makes no sense because you will not be getting, 6 copies in 2 multis, right? But it's not really worth it because the amount of characters you need. The second reason is that the EX characters, the SSR plus characters, no, it's not SSR plus, it's SSR EX characters, it's called. These characters are the strongest characters in the game, these ones right here. And it's a banner that you can choose which one you want to target. You can pick. And I'm like, okay, I want to be going for this waifu, which used to be a husbando, but they gender bent her because people didn't want husbandos in the game. These banners, you cannot get the character. You only can get shards. And in order to hard pick the character, you need to do 150 pulls. So you cannot reroll for this character. The banner is not even open until you progress in the game. But you will not unlock this on the first day for most casuals / free-to-plays, right? So you cannot even reroll for these units that are stronger. Third reason, these characters, the EX, they have their own currency. This one right here, I cannot pull with gems. Like, you cannot go pull with gems. This is mostly from events and shops. But this currency is really scarce for free-to-play players. So it's even worse when it comes to like the strongest units. You cannot reroll for them. There is also a wishlist, so it's kind of like pointless to be rerolling when you can just go into the standard banner, put the wishlist, and characters will end up coming here later on, right? So when they're released, it will take a little bit, but they will be added in here. The only characters that are not added into this pool, obviously, are the EX characters or the newest characters, which will take a few banners. And then the last reason, in my opinion, as to why it's not worth rerolling is like the only character that would be worth rerolling. This girl right here, Skehera Sade, I think is her name. She is locked in the gacha. You cannot get her until you do 800 pulls. Or you can get her with the VIP rewards. So, like, there is no point to reroll. Okay, there is no point in rerolling. It's worthless. Now, what is the only exception to reroll? Because I know I cannot stop all of you. That would be if you want to reroll for a specific waifu or a specific husbando. You have a character you really love on the standard banner and you want to reroll with them. And in that case, if you want to reroll for a specific waifu, what I would recommend, obviously, is that you use today's sponsor for this video and for the website on the launch of Dragon Traveler, BlueStacks. It's explained on the reroll guide how you can run multi-instancing to do it faster and to get the character you like. And you guys can just support the channel if you are looking to reroll for a specific waifu. But again, like I was saying, and I want to be clear, rerolling is not really worth it in this game, okay? Still, if you want to support the channel, you can by clicking on the website on the big banner that says Play Now on BlueStacks, or with the link in the description down below. So that is the first thing into rerolling and why it's not really worth it, right? So we can remove basically this one from here. Now, when it comes to the gacha system itself, I like the gacha system of this game. This is a gacha like most auto battlers, okay? Think of AFK Journey and Starseed and games like that. It is going to be pay to win, of course. Can you, as a free-to-play, collect all the characters and still enjoy the game and push and compete on most game modes with people around your same level? Yes, just like any gacha with PvP, okay? So I do like the gacha. There is a lot of different banners, and when I say a lot, like I really mean there is a lot of banners, right? Like it's not only those, there is also these ones, and there's a few more as well. So all of the banners will be explained on the website if you want to read about all of them and how they work, and the PT for each one is explained in here. But the only thing you need to understand for the release of the game is 2 or 3 banners if you want. First one, the standard banner right here. Every 5 multis guarantees a random SSR. After 200 pulls, I believe it is, I don't remember, you will unlock the wishlist and then you can put characters here, and it's always guaranteed to be one amongst the characters in your wishlist. Like I said earlier, Esquejera Sade, this girl right here, is not available until you do 800 pulls. Or you buy her with the VIP rewards. That's the standard banner. The rate up banner is pretty good. After every 5 multis, you are guaranteed a copy of the character. Every 5 multis, you're guaranteed a copy of the character, which is pretty good. You can pull with the normal tickets or with gems if you want. The game gives enough resources that you will be able to get most of the characters, if not all of them. The only ones that will be giving you travel, obviously, are going to be the EX ones, the light and dark characters. Like I said earlier, when you pull in this banner, you do not get the character. You cannot get the character. It's impossible. The only thing you can get, as you can see, it's shards. That's it. Shards, different currency, a really small chance for you to actually get 30,000 gems. Things like that, but you cannot get the character, so you have to hit these milestones down here, and I'm pretty sure, wait, is it 300? I thought it was 150 to guarantee a copy. Even worse. These characters for free-to-play players are not something you will be able to get a lot of dupes on. What I would recommend, and what most people recommend, is that you focus only on one of them. You select one for the team that you want to be running, and you go with that, nothing else, right? So you pick one and always focus on that. On the events, try to get more. On this banner, try to get more shards, and slowly get dupes of that character in order for it to be usable, because characters will need to be at least around the red start to be usable late game. We're talking late game, don't worry about early, because early it doesn't really matter, right? So that's for the gacha system. We already talked about dupes, and I already talked about how many do you need and where characters are usable, so we kind of skip this part because we're already talking about it. TLDR, if you weren't paying attention, 18 copies of the same character in order to max them out, not counting the fodder. All right, now let's talk a little bit about team building first, and then we can go into the shop basics. So team building in this game is pretty easy. Now, when I say easy, what I mean is that the game explains everything to you. And by everything, I literally mean it. So if I go here, this is the Elemental Echoes faction. And they tell you the Elemental Echoes faction works by combining elements. You know, you can fire, electrocute, or freeze enemies, and this will create elemental reactions. This is the Genshin Impact team. And they explain everything with percentages, with what characters are good and popular, and what alternatives exist, while explaining also what role each character fills. And this works for every faction, so for the Wild Spirits, for the Arcane Wisdom, or whatever they were called, for the Sanctum Glory, and they explain it to you on absolutely all of them. Team building is not hard. You don't really need a lot of guys for this, and I will suggest you actually experiment a little bit and try to see why these characters work well together. For PvP, it might be a little bit different, and there's going to be different metas, but for PvE, this is all you need, right? When you are in game, click on the little book on top, and they will guide you through everything you need with the current characters the global version has. As for team building, just to mention it really quickly because I think it's important. The other thing I do want to mention before we talk about tier list is the shop basics. This is an expensive game. The only thing I can recommend people to buy is the monthly cards and the battle passes. Monthly cards are usually, right, the usual monthly cards you can get. There is 2 of them. One that will give you 2 pulls per day, a multi instantly, which is 7 multis per month, pretty good, and one that gives you 300 crystals per day, and also 1200 instantly, up to a total of 10,000 crystals. Pretty good as well, another 3 multis basically. And this is also good pulls, so for the rate up banner, not for the standard. There is also a permanent card that looks suspiciously like the Welkin from Genshin. And this gives you 3 multis the moment you buy it, and every single day 5 singles. This is fantastic. If you can only buy one thing, this is what I would recommend amongst other stuff, because this is basically for as long as you play, you're getting 5 singles per day. That's a multi every 2 days. Fantastic offer, right? Well, fantastic offer, fantastic value. Then there is a couple of quality of life things as well. Again, monthly cards. This one to farm gear, and these 3 right here, which some are for cashback to give you pulls, some are for extra attempts, extra resources, the usual quality of life behind those monthly cards. But that is the only thing I can recommend buying, because after that, that's already like what? 2 here, the permanent monthly card, another card, and another 3 here. That's already a lot of monthly cards you are buying. The only other thing I can really recommend, if you like those cheap offers that are like $1 to $5 that will have a multi or more while also having resources, those are good. But the only other thing I would recommend is events. Events will have battle passes that are pretty good for the pulls they can offer, but again, it goes into how much are you willing to spend. Also, skins. These skins are free. I don't want to say free. Basically, they are locked behind dupes, and you need 6 stars or 6 purple stars in order to be able to get this. And that is, I believe, 8 dupes of a character, not counting fodder, in order for you to get a skin on these events. Sometimes there are multiple skins on the same event, 1 free, 1 paid. Sometimes it's only paid, sometimes it's only free. It depends what they do. They also do reruns sometimes. If you want the animated frames, those are a little bit more pay to win, since you need to go to all the way to 6 red stars, right? And there is a bunch of skins they also do give for free, like this one and others that they've been giving during the last year or however long this game has been out. I don't remember how long it's been already. But that's everything I can recommend buying, because anything else gets expensive really quickly, like super quickly. So I cannot really recommend anything else unless you're willing to well in the game, and then it depends on if you're well in for pools, if you're well in for resources, and what you prefer to get, right? That's it. Let's move a little bit onto the tier list. I want to be open about it as well. This tier list is based on both the beta and the Chinese server, and there is one thing that's important to understand. First, tier 0. This is, like I said earlier, the EX characters, but they are not free-to-play friendly, okay? So, free-to-plays, focus on one and move with that. Most people are going to be running a fire team early on because you get a lot of the characters for free, and the first banner is going to be Ifrit, and it's going to be Marilis. These 2 banners together, Marilis and Ifrit. Marilis early on can be really good, but I moved her to T2 so people understand that pulling for Ifrit is way better and will last you longer overall than anything else on the release day, right? But most of these characters will be moving down as the newer Chinese characters come out, since those are obviously stronger, right? But use this as a reference and always check what the game is telling you is good for your team, right? And based on that, you can also plan what you want to be pulling or not. There is a lot of characters that even if they are lower tiers, it's completely fine to use them. They are still more than usable, and there is a lot of game modes in this game, and you will be using lower rarity characters, no problem. During this launch week, I will be also adding character recommendations for the gear on the character pages and some extra information here, not only the skills and the talents. That said, the last thing I do want to talk about is red dots. If you don't know what to do, if you are lost, Sefhi, how do I progress? This is one of these red dot simulators. Look at my screen right now, okay? And I'm covering some of them as well. Follow the red dots and you will progress. It's a pretty straightforward idle game. Of course, it gets complicated the more you look into all of the systems, but overall, it's a pretty simple one. All that jumping aside, that's basically everything I wanted to cover because there is not much more to say about this type of game. They are usually pretty simple, but pretty enjoyable if you like auto battlers. And this is the case also for Dragon Traveler. Enough jumping, we will be live when the game opens, maybe an hour or two afterwards because the game opens at 2 AM, which is not good for me. But that said, we are live every single day. Links in the description down below. Once again, thank you to BlueStacks for sponsoring this video. Good luck with your pool, the internet, and that's the next one.